The Silent Vanguard. Captain Maya Santos stood at the viewport of Orbital Station Helios, her gaze fixed on the burnt husk of what had once been the colony outpost of New Dawn. Recovery drones glided silently through the destruction, their searchlights cutting through darkness and debris. The outpost's warning beacon had gone silent 3 days ago. By the time her ship arrived, all they found were ruins and radiation. Casualty report. Her voice remained steady, despite the knot forming in her stomach. Lieutenant Park handed her a tablet. 1,237 colonists. No survivors. Maya's fingers tightened around the device. This was the 5th human outpost to go dark in the past 3 months. 5 outposts, over 6,000 lives lost. And still, the Galactic Confederation did nothing. The Confederation's response, she asked, already anticipating the answer. Park's expression darkened. The same as before. They've issued their deepest condolences and suggested that perhaps we should reconsider establishing colonies in contested regions. Contested. Maya's voice turned sharp. We submitted our colonization plans to the Confederation Council 3 years ago. They approved every single settlement location. They're also suggesting that the attacks might be the result of human error, possible reactor containment failures. Maya stared at the devastation spreading across the viewport. The blast patterns were unmistakable. This wasn't a reactor failure, it was a targeted attack. The kind that left specific energy signatures her team had documented 4 times before. Send our findings to Earth Command. Full spectrum analysis, radiation patterns, debris dispersion, everything. She turned away from the viewport and informed the Confederation representative that I request an immediate audience. 3 hours later, Maya found herself in a sterile communication chamber, facing the holographic image of Confederation Ambassador Tyrell. The ambassador's mottled skin glistened under the light, the 6 eyes arranged around its bulbous head blinking asynchronously. Even through the hologram, Maya could sense the dismissal. Captain Santos, the ambassador began, its translator converting the series of clicks and whistles into human language. The Confederation Council has reviewed your findings regarding New Dawn. While we understand human distress over this unfortunate incident, we must caution against premature conclusions. Ambassador, this is the 5th attack following the exact same pattern. We've provided energy signatures, weapons residue analysis, and orbital tracking data. The evidence is irrefutable. Evidence that your less advanced sensors may have misinterpreted. Tyrell countered smoothly. Your species has only achieved interstellar travel within the last century. The technology gap between humans and most Confederation members remains significant. Maya fought to keep her expression neutral. This was the standard response, condescension wrapped in diplomatic language. Humanity was too young, too inexperienced, too primitive to be taken seriously. Ambassador, people are dying. If the Confederation won't investigate these attacks, then at least grant us permission to increase our military presence in the sector. The Treaty of Sirius clearly limits human military deployment beyond your core systems. Such restrictions exist for the stability of the galactic community. The ambassador's tone grew firmer. Your request is denied. After the transmission ended, Maya stood alone in the communication chamber, her reflection staring back at her from the darkened screens. The Confederation had been treating humanity like children since first contact 60 years ago. What had initially seemed like mentorship quickly revealed itself as containment, keeping the new species in check, limiting their expansion, restricting their development. Her communication device chimed, displaying a priority message from Earth Command. Re-2 Orin and Mim-ED-8 He-Iloi. Authorization Phoenix. Maya's heart rate quickened. Authorization Phoenix was the highest security clearance, used only in extraordinary circumstances. Something was happening. Something beyond her security clearance until now. The journey back to Earth was tense and silent. As her ship approached the blue-green planet, Maya noticed something unusual. The normal buzz of traffic around Earth's orbital platforms was missing. Shipping lanes that should have been crowded with vessels were oddly vacant. Her ship was directed to a landing facility she'd never seen before, a massive complex buried deep within the Rocky Mountains. As she disembarked, she was met by Admiral Helena Vega, the stoic head of Earth Defense Forces. "Captain Santos," the admiral acknowledged with a nod. "Your work documenting the outpost attacks has been invaluable. Follow me." They descended through multiple security checkpoints, each more stringent than the last. Maya's curiosity grew with every level they passed. This facility didn't officially exist in any record she had access to. "What you're about to see has been classified under the Phoenix Protocol for the past 25 years, Admiral Vega explained as they entered an elevator that plunged deep into the mountain. "Since the signing of the Treaty of Sirius, humanity has maintained two faces, the one we show to the Confederation, and the one we've kept hidden." The elevator doors opened to reveal an enormous underground chamber stretching kilometers in every direction. Maya's breath caught in her throat. Ships. Hundreds of warships, their sleek hulls gleaming under harsh industrial lights. None resembled the outdated vessels that comprised Earth's official fleet. These were something else entirely. Predatory, advanced, lethal. "Welcome to Project Prometheus, Captain," Admiral Vega said, watching Maya's stunned expression with grim satisfaction. "For 25 years, we've been playing the part of the obedient newcomers. We've accepted their restrictions, nodded at their condescension, and acted appropriately grateful for their guidance, all while preparing for the day when their protection proved as hollow as we suspected." Maya moved forward in a daze, approaching the nearest vessel. Its design was unlike anything in Earth's official arsenal, or even the Confederation's known fleet. "How is this possible?" "The treaty inspection teams are shown exactly what we want them to see. Asteroid mining operations that are actually shipyards. Research facilities disguised as civilian infrastructure. We've been building in plain sight." The Admiral's expression hardened. "The Confederation believes we're still struggling with basic gravitic engineering. They have no idea we cracked that problem 15 years ago." They continued walking between rows of ships, engineers and crew members rushing around in focused preparation. Maya noticed the insignia on their uniforms. The Phoenix Rising, Earth's classified military emblem never displayed to alien eyes. "The attacks on our colonies weren't random," Admiral Vega continued. "Our intelligence indicates they're the work of the Voidborn Collective, a species the Confederation has been in conflict with for centuries. They're expanding into our territory, and the Confederation has been deliberately looking the other way. Why? What do they gain from our losses? A buffer zone. As long as humans are the ones dying, their core worlds remain safe." The Admiral stopped before a holographic display showing a star map. Several systems pulsed with red warning indicators. "We've tried diplomacy. We've followed their rules. We've submitted reports, requested assistance, played their political games. And what has it gotten us? 6,000 dead colonists." The Admiral's finger traced a path across the map, connecting the attacked outposts. "The Voidborn follow patterns. Our analysts predict they'll strike here next. The Arcturus mining colony. 3,000 civilians." Maya studied the projection, noting the strategic position of Arcturus within the sector. "When?" "Within 48 hours, according to our intelligence." Admiral Vega turned to face her directly. "Humanity's patience has reached its end, Captain. Operation Starfall begins tomorrow, and you're going to help us execute it." Maya looked around at the massive fleet, the culmination of 25 years of secret preparation. "What exactly is Operation Starfall?" The Admiral's expression was cold steel. "The day humanity stops asking for respect and starts demanding it." At a secure briefing room deep within the facility, Maya joined 24 other ship captains and squadron commanders. Most wore the same stunned expression she'd had upon seeing the secret fleet. Like her, they'd been operating within the constraints of the Confederation's treaties, unaware of what was being built beneath the surface. Admiral Vega stood at the front of the room, flanked by the highest-ranking officers of Earth Command. Behind them, a holographic display showed 3 target locations blinking across the sector map. For too long, we've allowed the Confederation to dictate the terms of our existence, the Admiral began. We joined their alliance believing in the promise of mutual protection and respect. Instead, we found ourselves treated as second-class citizens, our concerns dismissed, our people left undefended. The room remained silent, tension thick in the air. The Voidborn Collective has been systematically eliminating our frontier colonies while the Confederation deliberately ignores our pleas for assistance. Their strategy is clear. They are using humanity as a shield against their ancient enemy, sacrificing our people to protect their core systems. The holographic display shifted to show detailed scans of unusual vessels, angular ships with organic-looking protrusions. These are Voidborn harvesters. They don't just destroy colonies, they extract resources, including biological material. Our people aren't just dying, they're being consumed. Maya felt a chill run down her spine. The Confederation had never mentioned this threat in any briefing, despite its obvious significance. Operation Starfall has 3 phases, Admiral Vega continued. First, we will deploy our Phantom Fleet to protect the Arcturus colony. When the Voidborn attack, we'll reveal our true capabilities and eliminate their invasion force. Second, we'll launch simultaneous demonstrations of force at key Confederation outposts, not to harm, but to show them exactly what we've been hiding. And third, her eyes hardened, we'll present our terms for continued cooperation. The Admiral gestured to Maya. Captain Santos, given your experience with the colony attacks, you'll command the Arcturus Defense Group. Your flagship will be the EDF Retribution. Maya stood, stunned at the rapid promotion. Admiral, that's a substantial command. Are you certain? You've seen firsthand what happens when we rely on others for our security. Your instincts were correct all along. We need commanders who understand the stakes. As the briefing concluded, Maya found herself approached by Commander Ishiro Tanaka, Earth Intelligence's top analyst on alien civilizations. The Voidborn won't be expecting resistance, he explained quietly. They've grown accustomed to easy targets, and the Confederation. He smiled thinly. They're about to discover that their primitive human allies have surpassed even their understanding of quantum physics. Maya studied the tactical display, showing her assigned ships. 15 vessels of advanced design, each carrying weapons systems that officially didn't exist. Will this trigger a war with the Confederation? Tanaka shook his head. That's not our goal. We're simply changing the balance of power. Respect comes from strength. It always has. For too long, they've mistaken our patience for weakness. As dawn broke over Earth's horizon, Maya stood on the bridge of the EDF Retribution, watching as her squadron prepared for departure. The massive underground hangar was opening, revealing the star-filled sky above. All vessels report ready, Captain, her first officer announced. Maya took one last look at Earth, the homeworld humanity had fought so hard to protect and develop. Now they would extend that protection to all human settlements, with or without the Confederation's blessing. Operation Starfall is authorized, came Admiral Vega's voice over the secure channel. Humanity stands alone no longer. All ships, Maya commanded, her voice steady and resolute, prepare for quantum jump. Target, Arcturus. As the Retribution rose from its hidden berth, Maya felt a strange mixture of anticipation and certainty. The time for asking permission had ended. Now, humanity would show the galaxy its true face. When silence breaks, the Arcturus system hung like a jewel against the velvet backdrop of space, its primary star casting golden light across the massive mining platforms that orbited the system's mineral-rich asteroid belt. 3,000 colonists worked these platforms, oblivious to the danger approaching, or to the fleet that had arrived to protect them. Captain Maya Santos stood on the bridge of the EDF Retribution, her ship and 14 others hidden behind Arcturus Ivy's largest moon. The quantum-absorbent hull plating rendered them invisible to conventional sensors, while advanced detection arrays monitored the system's outer edges. Stealth systems maintaining optimal efficiency, reported Lieutenant Commander Chen, her tactical officer. The colony remains unaware of our presence, as instructed. And our early warning network? Maya asked, studying the holographic projection of the system. Deployed and active. If something so much as sneezes at the system boundary, we'll know. Maya nodded, her attention fixed on the tactical display. The waiting was always the hardest part. Intelligence had predicted the Voidborn would attack within 48 hours. 26 had already passed. Captain, her communications officer called. We're receiving a transmission from Admiral Vega. Priority Alpha. The Admiral's face appeared on the command screen, her expression grim but satisfied. Phase 2 is complete, Captain. Our demonstration squadrons have revealed themselves at the designated Confederation outposts. Casualties? Maya asked immediately. None. As ordered, our ships performed precision jumps into secure Confederation space, displayed our capabilities, and withdrew without firing a shot. The diplomatic channels are exploding with activity. Maya allowed herself a small smile. I imagine the Confederation Council is having an emergency session as we speak. The first of many. Admiral Vega confirmed. Their sensors recorded capabilities they believe were centuries beyond human achievement. The message was received. Now it's your turn. Intelligence confirms Voidborn vessels have entered the outer system. They'll reach Arcturus within 3 hours. Maya straightened. We're ready, Admiral. The connection ended, and Maya turned to her bridge crew. Battle stations. Inform all vessels to prepare for engagement. As klaxons sounded throughout the fleet, Commander Ishiro Tanaka joined her on the bridge, his analytical eyes studying the tactical displays. The Voidborn will attack in their standard formation, he stated. 3 harvester ships surrounded by combat escorts. They've grown overconfident after 5 successful attacks on undefended colonies. Not this time, Maya said firmly. Lieutenant Commander Chen, deploy the QRF buoys as discussed. Deploying quantum resonance field buoys, Chen confirmed, his fingers dancing across the control interface. Maya had studied every report from the previous attacks, analyzed every fragment of data collected by recovery teams. The Voidborn relied heavily on quantum phasing technology, the ability to partially shift their vessels out of normal spacetime, making conventional weapons less effective. But Earth's scientists had been working on countermeasures for years. 3 hours passed with methodical preparation. Then, the sensors flared. Contacts detected, announced the sensor officer. 7 vessels entering the inner system. Configuration matches Voidborn signatures. On the main view screen, Maya watched as the alien fleet emerged. Angular ships with biological components fused to mechanical structures, a disturbing blend of technology and organic matter. 3 larger vessels formed the center of their formation, the harvesters. Around them moved 4 predatory escorts, their hulls bristling with weapons. They're heading directly for the main mining platform, Chen reported. Estimated time to weapons range. 6 minutes. Maya's mind calculated rapidly. Maintain stealth protocols. Let them commit fully to their approach. She turned to Tanaka. Will they scan for defenders? The intelligence officer shook his head. Minimal scanning. Their previous successes have made them complacent. The Confederation assured them this sector was undefended. On the view screen, the mining platform came alive with emergency lights. They'd finally detected the approaching threat. Distress signal broadcasting from the colony, communications reported. Standard Confederation emergency frequency. Is anyone responding? Maya asked, already knowing the answer. Negative, Captain. No Confederation vessels within response range. Maya's expression hardened. Of course not. Monitor all Confederation channels anyway. I want to know if they're watching this. The Voidborn fleet closed on the helpless mining platform, their weapons powering up. Maya watched as the colonists desperately tried to evacuate, knowing they had no chance of escape without intervention. "Captain, they're preparing to fire," Chen reported tensely. Maya's voice was ice. "Execute quantum lock." Across the system, the hidden QRF buoys activated simultaneously, generating an overlapping field that disrupted quantum states. On the view screen, the voidborne vessels visibly shuddered. Their partial phase state suddenly collapsed back into normal spacetime. "They're fully materialized and vulnerable," Chen confirmed. "Quantum phasing capability neutralized." Maya's eyes narrowed. Now, the EDF Retribution emerged from concealment, its massive hull catching the golden light of Arcturus. Alongside it, 14 other warships appeared, their weapon systems already targeting the surprised voidborne vessels. "Open a channel to the voidborne fleet," Maya ordered. When the connection established, she spoke clearly and firmly. "This is Captain Maya Santos of the Earth Defense Force. You have entered sovereign human territory and threatened a civilian installation. Power down your weapons and prepare to be boarded or face immediate destruction." The response was immediate. A barrage of energy weapons fired at the Retribution. The shots dissipated harmlessly against shields that shouldn't have existed according to officially shared human technology. "No response from the Voidborne, Captain. Communications reported unnecessarily." Maya nodded once. "All ships, engage. Primary targets are the escort vessels. I want the harvesters captured intact." What followed wasn't a battle so much as a complete dismantling of the Voidborne attack force. Earth's secret fleet moved with coordinated precision, their advanced weapon systems cutting through the suddenly vulnerable Voidborne escorts. Particle lances, gravitic disruptors, and quantum-tipped missiles. Technologies the Confederation believed were centuries beyond human development, reduced 3 escort vessels to drifting debris within minutes. The 4th escort attempted to flee, engaging its faster-than-light drive. "Interdictor field active," Chen reported calmly. "They're not going anywhere." The fleeing ship suddenly dropped back into normal space, its drive neutralized by technology that even the Confederation had only theoretical understanding of. "Target their propulsion and weapons only," Maya ordered. "Disable, don't destroy." On the tactical display, she watched as her fleet executed perfect coordination, disabling the remaining escort with surgical precision. The 3 harvester ships, now without protection, attempted to scatter in different directions. "Containment protocol," Maya commanded. "No harvesters escape this system." Specialized vessels from her fleet moved to intercept, deploying capture fields that seized the harvesters in unbreakable gravitic grips. Within 20 minutes of engagement, the entire Voidborne attack force had been neutralized without a single loss to the human fleet. "Captain, communications called urgently. We're receiving multiple transmissions. The Confederation has detected our engagement. 3 diplomatic channels are requesting immediate contact." A cold smile touched Maya's lips. "Now they want to talk. Put them through on a joint channel. Let them hear each other's hypocrisy." 3 holographic figures appeared on the command deck, a Confederation Security Council representative, Ambassador Tyrell, and most surprisingly, Grand Arbiter Vextol, one of the highest authorities in Confederation leadership. "What is the meaning of this?" demanded the Security Council representative, a Moravian whose translucent skin pulsed with agitation. "Unauthorized human military vessels deploying restricted weapons technology. This violates 12 different treaty provisions." Before Maya could respond, Grand Arbiter Vextol interrupted, its voice carrying the weight of authority. "Captain Santos, your actions represent a significant breach of trust. The Confederation is deeply concerned." "Concerned?" Maya's voice cut through the diplomatic posturing. Where was this concern when 5 human colonies were destroyed? Where was this concern when we provided evidence of the Voidborne threat? Where was this concern 15 minutes ago when Arcturus colony broadcast distress signals on your emergency channels? She gestured to the view screen showing the captured Voidborne vessels. "We just prevented the deaths of 3,000 civilians while your ships remained safely in their berths. Your concern comes remarkably late, Grand Arbiter." Ambassador Tyrell's 6 eyes blinked rapidly. Captain, you must understand the delicate balance of interstellar relations. The voidborn situation requires careful. The situation required action. Maya interrupted. Action you were unwilling to take. The Moravian representative's skin darkened with anger. Your deception regarding human technological development is unprecedented. The treaties clearly state. The treaties, came Admiral Vega's voice as she joined the transmission, were designed to keep humanity contained and dependent. We played along because we needed time. That time is now over. Maya stepped forward, facing the three Confederation representatives directly. While you're busy citing treaty violations, my teams are boarding the voidborn harvesters. Would you like to know what we're finding? Evidence that they've been systematically harvesting human colonies, with resources extracted from those operations being channeled to certain Confederation worlds through shell corporations and black market exchanges. The stunned silence that followed confirmed what Earth intelligence had long suspected. Corruption within the Confederation had allowed the Voidborn to operate with impunity. Similar evidence is being presented to the full Confederation Council as we speak, Admiral Vega added, along with demonstrations of human military capability at 26 strategic locations across Confederation space. Grand Arbiter Vextel's expression shifted from outrage to calculation. What are your demands? Not demands, Maya corrected. Terms for continued cooperation. First, immediate Confederation action against the Voidborn Collective, with joint Human Confederation task forces. Second, recognition of humanity's sovereign right to defend its colonies without restriction. Third, a complete revision of the Treaty of Sirius to reflect humanity's true status as equals, not subordinates. The Moravian began to object, but Vextel raised a hand for silence. And if we refuse these terms? Admiral Vega's voice was calm, but carried unmistakable resolve. Then humanity will withdraw from the Confederation entirely and establish its own protective alliance with like-minded species who've also grown tired of the current power structure. You'll note that our ships are currently positioned near the colonies of 7 such species. The implications hung in the air like a drawn weapon. The Confederation's power had always relied on its ability to control access to advanced technology and resources. A rival alliance with human technology would fundamentally destabilize that power. After a tense silence, Grand Arbiter Vextel spoke. The Council will require time to discuss these developments. You have 24 hours, Admiral Vega replied, during which time our fleet remains deployed. When the transmission ended, Maya turned to Commander Tanaka. Your assessment. The intelligence officer's expression was thoughtful. They'll accept our terms, though they'll negotiate hard on the specifics. The alternative, a fractured confederation, is unacceptable to them. Maya nodded, looking out at the stars visible through the view screen. For decades, humanity had played the role assigned to them. Grateful newcomers, junior partners, developing species, all while preparing for this moment. Captain, Chen called. The mining colony is hailing us. They're requesting permission to send a representative aboard. Granted, Maya replied. It's time they learned who really protects them. The following day, Maya stood in her ready room as the Confederation's formal response was delivered. As Tanaka had predicted, they accepted the core terms while proposing modifications to the implementation details. Admiral Vega's holographic image appeared satisfied. Phase 3 is complete, Captain. The Confederation Council has announced an emergency session to ratify the new agreements. More importantly, a joint task force is being assembled to hunt down the remaining Voidborn harvesters. You're being offered command of the human contingent. Maya raised an eyebrow. That's unexpected. Not really. You've become something of a symbol. The Confederation needs to demonstrate good faith, and putting you in a position of authority sends that message. After the Admiral's transmission ended, Maya walked to the viewport, gazing out at the Arcturus system. The mining platforms continued their work, but now under the watchful protection of visible human warships. No more hiding, no more pretending to be less than they were. Commander Tanaka joined her, offering a tablet with the latest intelligence reports. The Voidborn are retreating from human space entirely. The demonstration was effective. And the Confederation members, reassessing everything they thought they knew about humanity. Our technological reveals have sent shockwaves through their scientific communities. Some are frightened, others impressed. He paused. A few are already reaching out about bilateral technology exchanges. Maya handed back the tablet. 25 years of patience, of swallowing pride, of building in secret. Was it worth it? Tanaka asked quietly. Maya watched as a shuttle departed from the Retribution, heading toward one of the harvester ships, where research teams were documenting the evidence of the Voidborn's crimes. Evidence that would have been destroyed if they'd followed the Confederation's protocols. 6,000 lives were lost before we acted, she said, her voice tinged with regret. But millions more were saved by waiting until we were ready. She turned to face him. History will decide if we made the right choice. 3 months later, Maya stood in the Grand Chamber of the Confederation Council, now wearing the insignia of Fleet Commander. Around her, representatives from over 200 species debated the final details of the new security protocols. Protocols that placed human vessels at the core of the Confederation's defensive strategy. Ambassador Tyrell approached, its posture markedly different from their previous interactions. Commander Santos, the transition has been more successful than anticipated. Your tactical deployments against the Voidborn remnants have been exemplary. Thank you, Ambassador, Maya replied evenly. There is still much curiosity about how humanity concealed such technological advancement for so long. Many find it disturbing. Maya met the ambassador's multiple eyes without flinching. Perhaps the most disturbing part is how easily it was accomplished. Your expectations of our limitations became a blindfold of your own making. The ambassador's translator conveyed a sound that might have been a rueful laugh, a lesson the Confederation will not forget. Though I must ask, are there more surprises waiting in Earth's shadows? Maya smiled enigmatically. That would be telling, wouldn't it? As she walked away, Maya's communication device displayed a message from Earth Command. Project Ascension greenlit. Proceed as discussed. Her smile deepened. The Confederation thought they now understood humanity's full capabilities. They had no idea what was still hidden beneath the surface. The patience of humanity had ended in one arena. But in others, the long game continued. After all, the stars were vast, and humanity's ambitions had only just begun to unfold.